Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Troy Allen Goliath. Welcome to Trigger Time TV.
Hi folks, I'm Tatiana Whitlock, joining you today at Howell's Gun Shop in Gray, Maine. And on this episode, I'd like to discuss with you how to take a rather dull, boring base or static range exercise and turn it into something that's a little bit more dynamic and keeps you challenged as you develop across a multitude of skill sets. So first of all, make sure you're going to the range with a specific goal in mind. It might not necessarily be a drill you pulled off the internet. I think it's more important that you have a skill set you're trying to focus on. So let's take a very simple 4-tiered approach and build out from something very simple into something a little more complex, a strategy to give you the building or layering technique to get you where you want to go. So level 1 or layer 1, pick something simple. For the purposes of this explanation, we'll take a draw, aim, acquire, and fire 3 controlled shots on target. No stress, no pressure. You're working on grip, stance, all of the fundamentals of sight picture, sight alignment, trigger press. From there, though, where do we go? You can't do that till you're bored or your mind starts to wander. You could introduce a shot timer and pick up the pace a little bit, see what your own personal par times might be. But we don't want to stay there too long. So let's add a level of complexity, layer 2. Let's start building in target transitions. Now, if you have the opportunity to work at a large open range where you have freedom of space, you could set up 3 individual target stands, but apply that same shooting technique or drill set to each one of those 3 targets. So layer 2 might look like draw, aim, acquire, fire 3 on target 1, transition to fire 3 on target 2, and transition to fire 3 on target 3, 3 for 3. Again, don't stay there for too long. Add a shot timer. This could look like some drills you might be familiar with. But to spice it up even more, layer 3 is to build in or add a technical skill. So let's drop a reload in between those targets. Layer 3 is draw, aim, acquire, fire 3, reload. Take that next target and fire 3, reload, and fire the final 3. The benefit of adding that technical skill is now we're upping the complexity, and you have to work the technique of that technical skill plus build in efficiencies of time. Adding that shot timer, see if 1, you can get the hits and the score, and 2, perform the complete task within a comfortable, then maybe pushing it for a little bit, giddy up and go for a final rep. See what your own personal par times might look like. The last element of this is to introduce some movement. So if you're able to take that same drill structure of the 3 targets with the 2 reloads across 9 shots, introduce movement. You can introduce forward movement or side-to-side movement. You could actually shoot this multiple times across multiple paths of travel and time them accordingly. This can get fun. Not only do you have the opportunity to just walk a straight line, but if the range allows, you could add zigzags, multiple cones, introduce barriers and barricades, and simulate different home distances or distances relevant to your actual living environment and workspace. That makes sense to you when you go home. Past that, what can we do? Well, for those folks who are limited to a static shooting bay at an indoor range, it all is not lost. You can continue to work with this type of layering exercise. Instead of large bounding movements, however, you can take small, meaningful movements. Instead of working across multiple targets set in front of you, you can work across multiple target zones on perhaps a larger sheet of target printed paper. Introducing the shot timer, and if you're really wanting to hurt yourself a little to see what you can do for improvement, throw some dummy rounds in there to induce malfunctions for yet another added layer of complexity and unpredictable responses to how the gun is performing. It's super important to make sure that you are leveling up at skill-specific, safe, stages for you. We don't want a brand new shooter running and gunning right out of the gate. So this is something that you can look long-term towards if you're a brand new shooter, or enjoy the complexity of it and design a really dynamic drill to your own interests and work goals. Folks, enjoy your range time, make use of that ammo and your budget, shoot in the context of your life for the fight of your life.
Trigger Time TV is brought to you by Bravo Company Manufacturing, Bravo Company USA, Hornady, Skinner Sights, Beretta, Sacco, Pika, American Technologies Network, Car Arms, Auto Ordnance, Magnum Research, Desert Tech, Gas Block Genie, High Point Firearms, Burris, Steiner Optics, and Altus Shooting Solutions.